Greetings, everybody. This is my normal voice. No, I'm kidding. That's not my normal voice. So yeah, I want to make this video here to show some of the camera stuff that I get questions about, like, all the time. I've been wanting to make this video for, months now, but the weather's been bad here, so I wanted to do it outside where it's nice. So here we are on a nice spring day. The weather's good, so I'm gonna do this video. I even made, look, I even made a little outline and everything. Isn't that cool? So, in my videos I have on my website and on YouTube and places, I have action footage during games, and people are asking me, how do I protect the camera? And I really don't know what other people do in terms of protecting their equipment, but this is what I do. My cheapest camera here, which is a little Canon point-and-shoot PowerShot A1100 IS apparently. This I made a case for a long time ago. This is actually made for doing machining videos where I was trying to capture the machining action without getting coolant on the lens. But I made this really simple case. It just has two pieces of plexiglass that are basically epoxied together, and then there's this sheet of aluminum down here, and so the camera fits into this 1/4-20 threaded hole along with the washers that I'm not putting on it. They'll hold it still. But anyway, the camera fits into this hole and protects it from direct hits. Now, I have taken this out into games to take pictures, but I have never actually taken a direct hit right off the lens. My guess is that it would probably break. If that happened, it'd probably break this glue down here. But this is basically made to protect against splatter, because splatter I really don't want to happen onto my awesome, expensive $100, what do you call it, PowerShot. Yeah, so that's what I use for that. You could make something like this pretty easily just by getting some plastic glue and gluing it all together, but I don't really recommend that. Not unless you really don't care about your camera like me. So for an actual camcorder, most of the videos on my website that aren't like first-person views, there's like somebody carrying a camcorder around, those are usually done using an actual camcorder, kind of like this one here. I just bought this recently, and it's pretty cool. Can you see me? Yeah. So I'm in the process of making a case that looks a little bit like this. This is the base for it, and it'll have a shield in the front and pieces of plexiglass on all sides. Now, a friend of mine made a case just like this using wood screws. He pre-drilled holes through the actual plexiglass, through the thin side of it, and wood screwed it all together, and that's what most of my videos are made with. And that camera case is actually very strong. It's taken many hits. I've dropped it before. It's pretty resilient. But, of course, it isn't indestructible, so you'd have to be careful. Now, people have pointed out that the lens sticks out through the front of it, and in response to that, I really just have to say, yeah, that's the way it is. The big giant lens that hangs off the front, I can't put that under a case, it's too much. But the other thing is the lens has to ventilate itself in order to keep it from fogging up, so that's part of the reason why it's out there. Now, all you have to do, really, like if you're filming a game, all you have to do is hold the camera and look through the viewfinder with one eye and move it around with your other peripheral vision, and that'll keep it from getting shot directly by paint. That's what I do, and it's not hard to do at all. Now, I have never actually taken a direct hit to the lens using that camera. That's never happened. I guess it could happen in the future, but who knows. My guess is that it would probably survive, of course, but I wouldn't want it to get scratched or anything. So, I mean, that's kind of up to you, is whether or not you want to risk your lens getting shot or not. It's up to you. So, now, the thing that I get the most questions about is my wearable camera that I bought a couple months ago, actually about a year ago. The wearable camera that I use is a Contour HD from the company V-Holder. I really highly recommend this. I've seen a lot of people use these. I think Mike Phillips used it. He probably made a video about it. But this is a really good camera for paintball just because it has a low profile, and so you can mount it onto the side of your mask pretty easily and not have it be exposed. The other really popular wearable camera is the GoPro, but the GoPro is basically like one of these except just smaller, and it just mounts anywhere and I don't really like those myself. The quality's pretty good with this thing, although, there we go. The quality is pretty good with this thing. It is full HD, although the resolution really isn't too spectacular. But the thing I really like about it is that this section in the front can actually rotate. It can rotate and swivel. So as you can see, if I hold it straight up, you can see that it's cocked to the side because that's just how it hangs when it's attached to the side of my mask. So you can adjust it yourself and get a perfectly level view. So, you know, that's why I use this thing. Now, has this taken hits? Yes. Now, although you can see I had to build a little apparatus onto the front to mount this plexiglass piece here, but that's really, I think it's kind of a superfluous thing because I know a bunch of people that use these and they've taken direct hits with them and they just kept on going. So again, it's kind of up to you as to whether or not you want to risk getting your lens shot. In my case, I had the time, so I had to build this thing just so I could have extra insurance, peace of mind. But I don't think it's required. Now, this has taken hits before, direct hits to the lens, and it's taken hits to the side. That's why it's kind of red, because this field I play at uses red paint a lot. But it survives. I didn't actually expect it to survive the hits. I thought it would break off or something, but it's still going. If it does fall off, then I'll just have to make another one, but it'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Now, the other thing I did with this is I had to build my own mounting system for it. My mask I use is a Vents Avatar, and I originally had the mounting system that comes with this is a sticker mount where it mounts to the side. It actually looks just like this here, and so I stuck it onto the little vents jewel. I stuck it onto there, and it stayed really well. And I played with it at the Living Legends 3 in 2010, I think it was, but it actually ended up breaking off. What happened was the mounting system that goes onto the camera stayed tight, but the glue that actually holds the jewel onto the mask is what came off, so that really didn't help. So I jumped in the machine shop and actually ended up making this little circular bracket that holds it in place, and you can see it just slides on. And then there's additional insurance here in case the mount were to come out of its little bracket. I attached one end of this cord to the mount itself and the other end goes to the camera, so you can just connect that and you have added insurance. Isn't that nice? And so the way this works is it's basically the same thing as the Vents earpiece, where you can twist the little strap holder here thing and remove it pretty easily. It takes some time to get the exact contour, but I won't go into that. So this is what I use basically, and I'll go ahead and try putting it on. Am I on here? Yeah, I'm on. Oh, take my glasses off. Okay, so right now the mask is on my head, and you can see that, you know, it moves around a little bit, but basically it feels just the same as the regular mask, except that it adds extra weight to the side of your head, so it pulls you down a little bit, but you get used to it. The only time you have to be careful is when you're running. You might want to hold the top of your head, make sure your mask doesn't come off, but basically that's about it when it comes to this thing. Right, I want to talk a little bit more about the V-holder camera. I made that video yesterday, but I didn't get to discuss everything I wanted, and since I like these things so much, I want to go into more detail about it. The first thing is the battery life is pretty good. You get about 3 to 4 hours of a charge, or sorry, about 3 to 4 hours of a video recording time per charge. Now I bought an extra battery, which costs like 20 bucks or something. It goes right here in the back. There's this little tab and you flip it up like that and the battery comes out. And so that's how that works. So the battery life mostly depends on the setting at which you're recording. And you can see on the back here there's this little high-low switch. This switches between two different preset settings that you have to assign to the camera. So you can record at a full HD mode, or at the very flip of a switch at any time you can record it at a less high resolution in case you want to save battery life or save memory space. Now one of the hardest things about maintaining battery life on this is that you have to remember to actually turn it off. It's very easy to get shot and then just leave the camera on, and then you walk around for 20 minutes and just waste a huge amount of space on your memory card. So got to remember to turn it off. I've done that a couple times. Now supposedly this camera is waterproof, but I don't really know exactly what that means. It might just mean it's water resistant, so you can get it splashed with paint and you can wash it off. That's usually how I clean it. But just like anything, if you get shot, you're going to have to spend a lot of time cleaning out all these little nooks and crannies. And you can see, I mean, this thing's been shot a bunch, and that's why the lens is that red shade. But that's just, you know, that's how it is, and you got to clean it. There's even some shells still on there. Now, when you import the videos, you may have to edit the brightness, the microphone level, because we got to remember though, there's this tiny little mic on here that's located somewhere, I don't remember, someplace on the front. So, with a camera being as small as it is, you really have to turn up the microphone a little bit. Now, it does have an adjustable sensitivity setting, but I mean, even at the highest setting, you're going to pick up a lot of ambient noise, so it may take some editing to get your videos quite right. Now, the other thing is, a lot of people have asked me about whether or not it's possible to attach a lens to the front of this so you can magnify the view a little bit. And honestly, I don't really know the answer to that, but my guess is you can't. However, you probably could if you really set your mind to it. You might have to make an adapter for it or something. There we go. This lens right here is a generic 35mm that I use on a different camera, and it will definitely not fit on here. I mean, you can see the size difference. It's pretty considerable. So you'd have to make some kind of an adapter if you really wanted to make a lens work, even if it was a smaller lens than this one here. Alright, anyway, I think that's all I had to add to this video. I just want to make one small note that I am not a photography expert or a camera expert in any way, so I'm not exactly the right person to ask about brightness levels and f-stops and ISO levels and all that stuff. There's other places to go to ask those questions. But if you do have any specific question on anything I've shown you here, then you can drop me an email or message or something like that, and I should be able to help you out. Like I said, I'm no expert, but I like to have fun doing it, so there you go. Hope you have fun too.